There are many possible explanations for a person going missing. In all cases, a missing person is a person whose status cannot be confirmed and their location is unknown. Many people fear that a family member will go missing, never to be heard from again. Unfortunately, this fear becomes a reality for many families, who are then left with questions about what could have happened. While the truth sometimes ends up being uncovered in these disappearances, others remain mysteries for decades and even sadly outlive the lives of the family. It seems that the number of missing persons cases has only gone up in recent years. In 1980, there were about 150,000 people reported missing every year. The number has now risen to about 800,000 per year in the United States alone. Breaking that down, about 2,000 Americans go missing every single day. That is 2,000 families that have to live with the heartache of unanswered questions regarding the disappearances of their loved ones. The first 12 to 24 hours are often thought of as the most critical in a missing person's case, with the likelihood of finding their loved ones once again decreasing each day after. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be looking at the mysteries surrounding the discoveries and the disappearances of 3 missing persons cases. Hiker discovers human remains near trail in Burbank. A hiker's worst nightmare has occurred for one unlucky individual. In April of 2021, a hiker discovered skeletal remains that were later confirmed to be that of a human. According to officials, the remains were found in a mountainous area close to Elmwood Avenue in Burbank, California. Due to the level of decomposition, the police believed that the remains had been there for a while, probably longer than 3 weeks. The Verdugo Mountain area is popular with hikers. The skeletal remains were a few miles off the trail, yet were relatively unobscured. According to Burbank Police Sergeant Emil Brimley, the remains were not something they had to look for, so it was just a matter of time before someone came across them by chance. At the time of the discovery, the Los Angeles County coroner investigator estimated that the potential identification of the body could take as long as a year, and as of April 2022, the deceased has not yet been identified. There are endless questions about this case, and the truth is that we have still more questions than answers. Who is the deceased? How did they get there? Was this an accident or part of malevolent actions? The truth about this discovery has remained a mystery for some time and may very well stay that way. The mystery of the mostly harmless hiker has been solved. While some discoveries remain complete mysteries, others end up getting at least partly solved. One such mystery is the mystery of a hiker known as Mostly Harmless. His body was found in 2018 in Big Cypress National Reserve in Florida. The man was a well-known and well-liked hiker who had hiked all over eastern United States, where he met many different hikers and campers. Despite his well-known status, no one actually knew his real name. They only knew him as Mostly Harmless. Unfortunately, his body was found in July of 2018. Over time, this mystery became famous, with many Facebook pages and Reddit threads dedicated to the story and to the conspiracy theories surrounding it. While this was happening, the Collier County Sheriff's investigators were behind the scenes trying to identify Mostly Harmless so they could inform his family of his fate. The sheriff's detectives tirelessly worked to uncover this information, and their investigation included tips from the public, DNA, and other detective work. When his body was first discovered, Mostly Harmless did not have his phone or identification on him, and the initial efforts to identify him were unsuccessful. Finally, through DNA, the authorities were able to identify him as Vance Rodriguez, a man whose family is in Lafayette. According to authorities, he worked in IT in New York and was from Louisiana. Through their investigation, they discovered that in 2017, he set out to hike the Appalachian Trail, and for several months, he hiked down south with only paper maps. According to Detective David Herm, while friendly with fellow hikers, this earned him his famous moniker. He was also reserved and did not reveal his real name to anyone, even those who spent some time with him on the trail, sharing stories and snapping photos of him. By 2018, Rodriguez had reached Southwest Florida, which was the last time a witness saw him on the trail. Only a few months later, his body was found in a tent near Interstate 75. While first using traditional means to learn more about the deceased, after the agency posted a composite photo of him on Facebook, fellow hikers posted dozens of pictures with mostly Harmless and told their stories of meeting him on the trail. Finally, the case was solved when a former co-worker saw the photos online and contacted the agency to report what he knew. The sheriff then reached out to Rodriguez's family in Louisiana, who provided a DNA sample to confirm his identity. The sheriff stated, "We are glad to have solved this case, and we want to thank the community for their interest and for circulating the information that eventually reached the right person. While the autopsy did not indicate foul play and the exact cause of him losing his life, at least his family no longer have to wonder where he might be. Not every family gets these answers." David Paul Morrison disappearance. While Vance Rodriguez's family has some peace knowing he is no longer alive, many families are only left with unanswered questions. This is the case for the family of David Paul Morrison, who was last seen in Yosemite Valley in May of 1998. Only 28 years old at the time of his disappearance, Morrison would be 52 years old today. There is frustratingly little information as to what happened to him. In the days after his disappearance, a massive search was started for this San Francisco hiker who was last seen at 7:15 a.m. en route to Half Dome in Little Yosemite Valley. As Morrison was an experienced hiker, witnesses reported that he did not look like he was equipped for overnight camping. His girlfriend reported him missing after he left alone for his hike and did not return. Morrison's identity was determined by the items of his belongings that were left at Curry Village, and at the time of his disappearance, he was wearing a sweatshirt and running shoes. On the night of his disappearance, snow fell in Yosemite Valley, making the day pack that he was carrying even less useful for a successful overnight hike. There were massive efforts to find Morrison, as a team of 75 searchers, along with 5 dog teams and a highway patrol helicopter, set out to locate him. Unfortunately, these efforts did not result in locating Morrison, partly because of the poor weather and other climbers who needed rescue help. Authorities presumed that Morrison got lost or injured in the park, and they believed that he must have been unable to answer search calls at the time. Authorities were also unable to uncover many clues about what may have happened to Morrison despite extensive efforts. Unfortunately, the case remains a mystery, as no one has heard or seen from him since May of 1998, when he first went missing. The mysteries discussed demonstrate how difficult it can be to uncover the truth in a missing person's case. Some families are luckier than others, and their loved ones end up being found alive, while others, sadly, like the ones mentioned in this video, are left to deal with their loved one's disappearance. But what do you make of these mysterious discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.